Lovely good evening to you all. Welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present the top stories in the news tonight. The Socialist Party blames government over deepening PF intra-party wrangles. Police arrest 41 people for various offences at LUSAKA'S INTERCITY bus terminus. Miller says ZNS MEALIE has created price distortions on the market. In international news, Chad referendum campaign divides political classes. And in sports news, qualifiers for the CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024 are done.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772-870-588 or WhatsApp on 0972-049-213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, fourth close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Hello again, the news in detail. An overzealous police officer Wednesday morning caused drama at Lusaka's Kulimatawa bus station after he crashed a minibus in a tree in the middle of Freedom Way. The driver of the bus, Warren Chikoye, told Camnet News that two officers grabbed the bus at gunpoint and one officer drove away, resulting in the crash. Mr. Chikoye explains that police officers working around Kulimatawa, even those who do not belong to the traffic section, have a tendency to jump onto buses demanding for money. More in the following report.
A Lusaka-based police officer Wednesday caused early morning drama at Kulimatawa bus station after he crashed a minibus into a tree along Freedom Way. It is alleged that the police officer, in the company of a colleague, threatened to shoot the driver of the bus who was offloading passengers on this stretch and drove off only to land here. Driver of the bus, Warren Chikoye, explains what transpired. Other concerned drivers have appealed to authorities to address alleged rampant corruption among police officers in the Central Business District who are extorting motorists out of their money.
Police officers kaya pamoja bus station hapa. Zata bwatu wa milamonga hapa basi. Eva kabwera akwera at contravening. Na contravening amini siyo nekononeka. Umeona? So bashiteko cyane bachinje kunuka warara. Baje okay kugira tima gwiri wate bantu. Taenda uko kusento batipereka kuja. Tando ripira. Manje kuserusa. Bari kwamira magwira mabasi. Nishakara kuja kusento kwira moto.
Ekati omuntu baratabari ntaito tukikata moto. Bare muiminika pati imini aturandishanye na refo kubutukana moto. Refo kutwara kwisa moto. Corruption yonse area. Mamona. Now president wants ofire baishi bafyonse fire chitikano.
Efforts to get a comment from police spokesperson Leah Monga could not be fruitful as at broadcast time. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Some public service vehicles, PSV drivers in Lusaka, have welcomed the intended operationalization of speed cameras mounted along highways in Lusaka, Livingstone and Ndola, among other cities. However, the drivers say the Road Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA, must consider putting up appropriate road signs which they have pledged to adhere to. The Road Transport and Safety Agency has announced that it will commence speed camera enforcement on December 11, 2023 and has since cautioned all motorists to adhere to the stipulated speed limits on all public roads. Here's a report.
Speeding is ranked the second cause of road accidents in Zambia. If motorists observe appropriate speed limits, the country is projected to reduce the number of road accidents by 35%. According to researchers, road accidents are the number 3 cause of deaths in Zambia after HIV and malaria. Zambia has made significant progress in stabilizing and reducing road accidents and fatalities over the past 10 years. To add up to this profile, the Road Transport and Safety Agency has announced that it will commence speed camera enforcement on December 11, 2023 and has since cautioned all motorists to adhere to the stipulated speed limits on all public roads. Reacting to this development, some public service vehicle PSV drivers in Lusaka have welcomed the move, however, want the RTSA to consider putting up appropriate road signs which they have placed to adhere to.
Upola kwera cheyampu inafutika no masign post nisivija simwami oluma makamera kuma robot kumanga ma robot yafanga na makamera ma robot pena kusana konzeo ubwera kuti obwera cha bebrut ubwera che short pamene pazuzaziba kunyanja stika so kufunika fezi masign post tukana kamera ichimushe bangaika deni bakaika kamera ichi tukama babati bafunika batipasa ko signpost kali chintu chili chonse chifunika chazibika uko batipata pamene uyenda pali chintu chaso kita panene pemba ni post batipasa ko post bati oh pata pamene utamangira ufunika utamangatsu ka post ukona ka po bariko ka post ko langiza iwo pamene uyenda
ma camera ili bwino but nkanya utati kufaka signpost pali camera I think is not important. Chili important ni kufaka signpost yauti i road ifunika kutamanga pa kilometers yangati. So I think was like exceed maybe let's say 80 kilometers per hour, then watch 100. Camera which capture ni problem yako. So chatika pempe paka ma sign post ucho I road pan bama road 80 kilometers per hour plan 30 kilometers. So ati drivers vapoenda uti fika kwenda ma kilometers yaso. So ati camera ungachamushita capture ati atamanga maningi ni eve ni problem yake. Kaya pitira ma kilometers yani wana kamba uti ja road funika kutamanga na kilometers yaso.
So ninga kuzima tu paso paje nikatamanga so baza bwanji ni mawani so funika nikapeka ma robot akapasa rate nani ngakuimilira sasa kuita bwanji kupitira.
When contacted to clarify on the driver's concerns, RTSA acting head of public relations Mukera Mangorwa could not comment as the agency has scheduled a media briefing this Friday which will address the driver's concerns among other issues.
We're going to have a joint press briefing on Friday with the Zambia police on the introduction of speed cameras. So we don't want to preempt. So if you join us during that press briefing, you will hear the explanation on all those issues and any other related issues.
Zambia's capital, Lusaka, is usually characterized by traffic congestion, which is one of the most frequent mentioned contributing factor to aggressive driving, such as speeding. Drivers respond by using aggressive driving behaviors, including speeding, changing lanes frequently, or becoming angry at anyone who they believe impaired their progress. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
The Zambia Federation of Cooperatives in Mining says the accident at Senseli underscores the urgent need for a comprehensive solution to address the challenges posed by the informal exploitation of minerals. Federation President Josephine Chimbwali says the informal mining, often termed as small-scale mining, is jeopardizing not only the lives of those involved but also the environment and the communities at large. Ms. Chimbwali has reiterated President Hakainde Hichilema's call for unity of purpose, especially during the rescue operations. She was speaking to Camnet TV News in an interview.
The Zambian Federation for Cooperatives in Mining is saddened with the unknown number of the informal miners who have remained trapped in the tunnels of the Senseli mines in the Chimbola district. Our heartfelt concern goes out to the families that are still awaiting for the retrieval of these miners. However, we are hopeful that we will get a positive result since the rescuing team is still working.
The Council of Churches in Zambia, CCZ, says the Senseli mine tragedy should serve as a catalyst for positive change in the country's informal mining sector. CCZ General Secretary Father Emmanuel Chikoya says there is an urgent need to create a safer and more secure environment for all miners. Father Chikoya says CCZ is of the view that the government should cushion factors that drive individuals toward illegal mining activities, especially among the youths.
In times like these, it is essential for us to stand united as a country, providing strength and support to one another as we navigate the challenging path of grief and sorrow. The mining community has always been a tight-knit family bound by shared experiences, hardships, and triumphs. Today, as we grieve, let us lean on each other for solace and understanding. As we mourn the loss of these individuals, let their memory serve as a catalyst for positive change within the mining industry, especially the informal sector. There is urgent need to create a safer and more secure environment for all miners, where their hard work is met with the assurance of returning home to their loved ones at the end of each day. CCZ also wishes to call on government to address the challenges of illegal and unsafe mining and unemployment on the Copperbelt province and country at large.
The Millers Association of Zambia has admitted that the recent government intervention to offload cheap Zambia National Service Mealie Meal in selected chain stores has harmed their Mealie Meal businesses. Association President Andrew Chintala says the ZNS Mealie Meal has created some price distortions. Mr. Chintala says millers are sitting on expensive Mealie Meal, hence changes in prices are affecting their profitability. He says it is important that millers equally access the cheaper maize being utilized by the Zambia National Service to produce cheap Mealie Meal for the benefit of many Zambians.
The prices were being determined by the market forces, and if you go by that principle, it means that prices of these commodities were not being determined by any institution or individuals. It was the demand, it's the market that was driving the prices of these commodities. But alas, look, ZNS came in, I think, about a month or so with a much cheaper product on the market. Definitely you expect to see some shock or reaction, and the market has reacted. But I cannot probably give you the statistics, but I can confirm that there's been an impact because we've seen a reduction in terms of the rate of sales. We are not getting what I would say in terms of the strike rate for us to sell compared to the previous months before that. I think we've seen a reduction in terms of the sales for our commercially produced meat. The impact is there, but obviously you expect such whenever you make any interventions, and I think it's normal that such distortions are created. But this is why we're saying we need to quickly look and find a balance, because look, we are sitting on expensive maize, of which obviously if there is a cheaper commodity that has been offloaded by way of intervention by government, it means that obviously even those that have got maize should find a way of accessing the same maize that our colleagues are accessing, so that you could probably do what I would call the price branding, so that we could lower the cost also for the finished product, so that the larger population of our people could have actually access to affordable mealie.
Socialist Party leader Dr. Fred Membe has accused President Hakainde Hichilema of being behind the suspension of 9 Patriotic Front members from the party. Dr. Membe claims the president is using Miles Sampa and company to obtain the majority in parliament to institute constitutional changes to prolong his stay in office. Speaking during a press conference Wednesday afternoon, Dr. Membe called on citizens to join hands to stop what he terms a planned assault on the country's constitution by Mr. Hichilema. Earlier in the afternoon, Mr. Sampa led faction the Miles Sampa-led faction announced the suspension of 9 PF members of parliament, including former leader of opposition Brian Mundubile. The government, however, through Chief Government Spokesperson Cornelius Mweta, is on record denying plans to commence constitutional amendments. More in the following report.
Socialist Party SP leader Fred Membe has labelled the suspension of 9 Patriotic Front PF members of parliament an emergency issue of national concern. Mr. Membe has echoed accusations of President Hakainde Hichilema of being behind the suspension of the MPs to gain majority in parliament. This follows the earlier announced suspension of the MPs for gross misconduct by the Sampa-led PF faction, a move dismissed by the Edgar Lungu faction.
It's not about Mr. Miles Sampa. It's about Mr. Hakainde Hichilema wanting to obtain a majority in parliament that he failed to obtain through normal elections. The purpose of that is to give himself a majority in parliament that is needed to make constitutional changes.
Dr. Membe has since called on citizens, regardless of their political affiliation, to stand to deny President Hakainde Hichilema's plans to manipulate the constitution to prolong his stay in office.
If we allow Mr. Hichilema to take this path, the country will be destroyed for a very long time to come. A very dangerous precedent is being set. We know he won't stop easily, unless you, the Zambian people, stop him. He has no restraint on what he wants to do. He is not a person who listens to other people and reverses things, changes positions.
Government, however, recently denied plans to amend the constitution, stating that the purported plans to amend the constitution were proposed by members of parliament themselves.
That what has made them U-turn and want now to lump this on the executive, that the executive is the one which wants to amend the constitution, is the fact that there were differences on the floor of the House leading to them, a number of them being suspended.
For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, has denied Patriotic Front lawyer Makebi Zulu permission to privately prosecute Matero area Member of Parliament Miles Sampa and his counterpart Robert Chabinga. The duo have been dragged to court on allegations of forgery and perjury. When the matter came before the Lusaka Magistrate Court Wednesday morning, the application to have the case privately prosecuted was dismissed following a letter of decline by the DPP. However, Counsel Zimba asked the court to review its ruling or order for the DPP to prosecute the case. The matter has been adjourned to the 12th of December 2023.
Such matters. Just to encourage our members, like I did say the other day at the High Court, the party is you, the people. Each pani momwe vantu, each pani the mukot, each pani is you, the people, and the structures. So, mama structures, you know who your leaders are. And what we are merely going through, dealing with, is the party, you know, fighting government machinery in whatever form. But government machinery must be utilized for a purpose, for the common good of the people. Statecraft is accepted everywhere in the world, but distance must accompany the statecraft wherever we apply it. And so my plea to those that in the seats of authorities, it will always be temporal. We are here. We are the same instruments that you have, but we are here. And so let's be responsible when we are utilizing the authority that is deposited into us by people. So mwe bantu bakwalesa mwinenuka if tulepita mwafika pita, but what is important is to save you. Insala mule pita mwe insala imuponene eri achitufire tulela ndapo notifya kula ingira mumakoti. Abafuire abana besu aba munyene fwe abafuire kuchingola. Mafe tufire tulelo eshapo. Chinshire nga bantu okufatira. Ni insala. ngati nsala abantu tetivaive panshi palya nokupembera enfula yabatitikisa bafa palya.
Economist Trevor Hambai has opposed proposals by Zambia Institute of Policy Analysis and Research ZIPA Executive Director Henry Mpuku for Zambia to change its currency on allegations that some people could be holding on to huge sums of money, resulting in the continued depreciation of the kwacha. Mr. Hambai has instead proposed that the Bank of Zambia must use their monetary policy mechanism tools such as copper and gold bank reserves. Zambia Institute of Policy Analysis and Research ZIPA Executive Director Henry Mpuku has suggested that Zambia changes its currency owing to the depreciation of the kwacha. More in this report.
The fall in the value of the kwacha has been gradual. From as far back as 2015 till now, the kwacha has continued to depreciate, triggering the high cost of doing business, which in turn has impacted the cost of basic commodities such as meal, among others. Zambia Institute for Policy Analysis and Research ZIPA Executive Director Henry Mpuku has suggested changing the currency to arrest the depreciation of the kwacha. Mr. Mpuku suspects that there is a lot of money in the informal system that is exerting a lot of pressure on the kwacha. But economist and development expert Trevor Hambai has opposed this suggestion, saying this strategy has been used before but did not yield the desired results.
The issue around having to change the currency is speaking to the fact that you want to siphon out any excess kwacha that is in the market. And this is the same strategy that we've been employing since 2015, of having to reduce liquidity on the market to be able to create stability with our exchange rate as well as the inflation. It has not worked. So I would think that the country's strategy must change. Having to be able to reduce liquidity on the market is a short-term approach, and it does not deal with the actual problem that we are facing, which is a supply of hard currency from a growing economy.
Mr. Hambai says all that is needed is the implementation of the export framework for monitoring exports, which government says will be effected on 1st January 2024.
The immediate challenge that we do have is obviously the continued depreciation of the kwacha, and I think first we must commend Bank of Zambia, who are obviously saying that the export framework for monitoring exports is going to come into effect on 1st January. This is the first fundamental, that all revenue that we're generating in terms of export revenue for export of goods out of this country must be booked and accounted for within the country as the first step. The second step that we should consider is obviously the fact that we should stop having to externalize hard currency on a daily basis from multinationals. This is putting pressure on us.
The Zambian kwacha has depreciated from 17 kwacha 73 ngwe per US dollar in July this year to 24 kwacha 24 ngwe per US dollar as at close of business Wednesday 6 December 2023. Whether changing the currency is the solution or not, one sure fact is that the continuous weakening of the kwacha against major convertible currencies is causing serious challenges for small and medium businesses as well as the common man in the country. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
A combined team of Zambia Police, the Drug Enforcement Commission and the Lusaka City Council have arrested 41 people during a joint cleanup operation conducted at Lusaka's INTERCITY bus terminus area. The 41 include 3 females and 38 males who were found illegally trading in the area. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says out of the 41 arrested, 31 were junkies picked for idle and disorderly conduct, 8 were picked up for illicit trading without proper trading licenses, and 2 for illicit drug-related offences. Mr. Hamonga says the operation follows numerous reports from the members of the public in the area that they have been inconvenienced by reported disorderly conduct in the area. He says assorted alcohol substances, drugs including cannabis, suspected narcotics and codeine have been picked, and all illegal structures in the area have been demolished.
Joint statement with regards to operations that the Zambia Police Service, together with Drug Enforcement Commission and the Lusaka City Council did conduct today at the LUSAKA'S Intercity Terminal bus terminus. This is in relation to the many complaints that we received from members of the public with regards to them being attacked whilst in that area. Now, our operation yielded very good results. We apprehended 41 persons. Out of the 41 persons that were apprehended, 3 are female. And the breakdown is also as follows. Out of the total number of 41, 31 are junkies. 8 are those persons that were found trading without licenses. And whilst 2 persons have been picked up for drug-related cases. Now, this operation is in connection with the collaboration that we have as the law enforcement agencies to ensure that we get rid of criminal elements in the city. And we'll continue conducting such operations to ensure that the public is safe and also public safety is upheld to the highest level so that members of the public can enjoy the peace that we enjoy in this country. This operation began around 9:30 and it took us up about 11:30 when we finally concluded it, and we have since apprehended these persons. They are in our custody and we'll soon charge them appropriately, and after that of course will be taken to the court.
Meanwhile, police have apprehended 3 suspects involved in the sale of suspected fake fertilizer in the Bob Broom area of Lusaka West. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga has told Camnet News that the suspect had sold out 121 bags of fertilizer believed to be counterfeit and posing a potential threat to the agricultural sector and farmers. Mr. Hamonga says the arrested individuals are currently in police custody and will face charges related to the sale of counterfeit products.
We're investigating a matter which just commented into us reaching here as far as Ngalume, where we have this stack of fertilizer, 121 in total. Now, this fertilizer is suspected to be fake fertilizer, in that it seems to have some other ingredients which are mixed with it, and we have since actually apprehended 3 suspects which are in our custody, and we are still investigating this matter. But suffice to state that we are concerned as Zambia Police Service because this has a major impact on the youth that the farmers are going to have if we have such things unabated. So we want to make an earnest appeal to the public as farmers, please, let's get these fertilizers from well-reputable organizations or places, because like it is now, this fertilizer, it goes to the farmers and then the farmers are able to put in the fields, the youth definitely be affected. So I want to make an earnest appeal that please, shall we get these things from regulated places? However, like I said, this is suspected to be fake because when you look at it, it doesn't seem to be actual genuine fertilizer. But we are yet to subject it to scientific methods to prove that this fertilizer is genuine or not. But however, our earnest appeal is to the farmers that please do not get these things from unauthorized places. If somebody is selling fertilizer and you're not sure, you better not get it because it will impact negatively on the youth.
The Civil Society for Decentralization Analysis, CSO DAN, has disclosed that ward development committees are facing challenges in the administration of the constituency development funds in the country due to a lack of capacity and remuneration. Research consultant Professor Louis Chilufya disclosed that the lack of allowances for ward development committee members in the execution of their functions creates a corruption risk. Meanwhile, CSO DAN chairperson Dr. Gabriel Mapalanga has called for collaborative efforts that address the underlying issues in the administration of CDF. He was speaking during a policy brief dissemination on the resourcing of ward development committees and its impact on the effectiveness in executing their functions. Details in this report.
On 29 September 2023, during the 2024 National Budget presentation, Minister of Finance and National Planning, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane, announced the increase of the Constituency Development Fund from 28 million kwacha to 30.6 million kwacha in 2024. The program is meant to lift the standards of living for vulnerable communities and citizens in various parts of the country, with stakeholders arguing the process of benefiting from the funds is based on political lines, while others, it's a game changer. While the benefits of the funds have been witnessed in other parts of the country, a police brief paper on the resourcing of ward development committees, WDCs, and its impact on the effectiveness in executing their functions, research by the Civil Society for Decentralization Analysis, CSO-DAN, has disclosed that WDC members are affected in executing their mandate due to lack of allowances, which is a possible breeding ground for corruption, leading to them abandoning the committees. The research also reveals that WDCs have no provisions for the construction of physical office spaces, which has led them to pay for transport costs. Professor Lewis Chilufya, who is consultant for the research, discloses that some ward development committees have been overweight by political interference through having members affiliated to political parties and politicizing decision-making in the committees.
Before, partly this absence of this provision for some allowance or salary has created a lot of demotivation, and it is a danger for these members to engage in corrupt practices. The third recommendation is that the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development should amend the Constitution Development Fund guidelines to make mandatory the construction of WDC offices.
And CSO-DAN chairperson Father Gabriel Mapulanga hopes efforts will be put in place to avert the challenges and recommendations of the policy paper be adopted.
I have a feeling that what development committees are neglected, they are not motivated, and actually they are not looked upon as not very important.
Other stakeholders also weighed in their inputs on the policy paper findings and want the following steps to be taken.
Verify some of this information. In educating citizens, you know, there are certain concepts, certain frameworks in the decentralization agenda in the work of the WDCs, which may seem very complex, but through maybe just by simplifying them in a language or in a format that ordinary citizens can easily engage with.
I also recommend that they should put the aspect of the media, because the media also needs some motivation for them to carry out those stories, for them to carry out the advocacy to the citizens. And it's through the wide development committees that citizens are able to voice out their issues or issues that are concerning their communities.
Emphasize that as we move forward, we take interest in terms of the composition. Do we have the representation? Because right now, young people are highly unemployed.
Other findings of the report border on the lack of effective coordination between the local councils and the WDCs in the implementation of decentralization in long-term and annual planning and budgeting at the local level, and capacity limitation stemming from educational qualifications of WDC members. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
This is Camnet Television Main News. We take our first break. Join us for more news after the break.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration, or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, Save Nations, Develop Africa.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RENGLES, your smart irrigation partner.
The news continues. Minister of Education Douglas Yakalima has hinted that the ministry will issue a statutory instrument focusing on inclusive education for persons with disabilities. Speaking during the 6th National Symposium on Inclusive Education, Mr. Yakalima says the ministry will also follow up on statutory instruments which focus on accessibility and health in line with various legislative frameworks. Meanwhile, Deputy Disability Rights Watch Chairperson Joseph Munsanje has underscored the need to break barriers that prevent persons with disabilities from benefiting from empowerment programs such as the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Details in this report.
Zambia is a party to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, CRPD, which aims to promote, protect and ensure the full and equal enjoyment of all human rights and fundamental freedoms by all persons with disabilities, as well as to promote respect for their inherent dignity. Locally, the Persons with Disabilities Act No. 16 of 2012 focuses on empowering persons with disabilities to be an integral part of mainstream society, with over 1.5 million citizens living with disabilities. Discrimination and an equal distribution of resources is topical in the country. In this regard, Minister of Education Douglas Yakalima has hinted that the government will evoke a statutory instrument focusing on inclusive education for persons with disability in the country in a bid to address challenges associated with inclusivity in the education sector. Speaking during the official opening of the 6th National Symposium on Inclusive Education, the minister, who was represented by Dr. Nicholas Mwamba, says government is committed to addressing issues surrounding inequality in the country.
Development and social services to ensure that a draft statutory instrument on inclusive education for learners with disabilities is issued as soon as possible. I will also make a follow-up on 2 other statutory instruments on accessibility and health, because these have got a direct link to the education of children with disabilities. We are also fully aware of all the commitments we have made towards achieving quality inclusive education at global level in the Sustainable Development Goals and the CRPD, and also at continental and regional levels.
Meanwhile, Zambia Disability Rights Watch Chairperson Joseph Munsanje highlights the need to break barriers hindering persons with disabilities from benefiting from empowerment programs in the country.
Has introduced in this country. So we want these gains to ensure that they don't leave out children with disabilities. And we also look at what are the challenges, what are the opportunities that are existing. For example, Constituent Development Fund, now CDF, is a game changer. Free education has brought in over 2 million children into the education system. We want to ensure that children with disabilities are not left out. They are, for example, we've got assistive devices such as hearing aids, calipers, walking sticks and the like.
A representative of youths with disabilities called for inclusivity by engaging them on issues that affect them.
Such meetings. Thank you for calling on us. Inclusive education is one of those topics which bring about conflict and murmuring. Remember, inclusiveness.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Chinsali Member of Parliament Kalalwe Mukosa is concerned that the food security pack, which consists of fertilizers and seeds, is not reaching the intended beneficiaries. Speaking at a media briefing in Lusaka, Mr. Mukosa notes that civil servants like teachers in certain areas are receiving the pack instead of the deserving people. Meanwhile, Mpika Member of Parliament Robert Kapyanga has attributed the Senseli open pit mine accident to a lack of proper policies by the government. Mr. Kapyanga says the accident would have been avoided if the government had put in place measures that favor locals.
What is happening is that in most parts of the country, Chinsali, my constituents included, because of poor supervision by the government and the officers that are given the responsibility to supervise the process of distribution of this fertilizer, we have a situation where fertilizer is not reaching the intended beneficiaries.
A foreign company has been licensed to mine gold in Kenya. That license covers 120,000 hectares of our land. This is the land that our forefathers left for us. It is covering villages, graveyards, farms, and other things that our people use. All of us in Mpika saddened.
I want to call upon government to be sincere in their dealings, because Mukula does not belong to the government, it belongs to the people. If Mukula is going to be stolen indiscriminately, as the case has exposed itself, we are going to be in serious problems as a nation. I want to show how bad I feel by connecting this Mukula issue to the fact that it is happening at the time when security checkpoints have been suspended.
Poor management of some drainages has raised concern among residents in Mongu, who have called on the local authority to clean the drainages at Mongu's main bus station before the rainy season intensifies to avoid an outbreak of waterborne diseases. In an interview with Camnet News on Tuesday, Mr. Sisi Imasiku complained about poor management of most drainages, which are blocked with litter, and that the situation will worsen once the rains intensify. Meanwhile, Mongu Municipal Council Town Clerk Oliver Muka, who has acknowledged the challenge, has assured the community that the local authority will intervene and urged the community not to throw litter anyhow. More in this report.
Poor management of some drainages by the local authority has remained a source of concern for Mongu residents. The Mongu main bus station is among the areas affected by poor sanitation. Speaking to Camnet TV, Tuesday, 5th December 2023, some residents are appealing to the local authorities to look into the matter before the rain season intensifies.
Konoma drainage atezi masila kuno kubeya papati afande ama mwachi wala kunani masila kona mna nifira ila kweza kuni at least vakansi machilingi onse kuwakawa konapo kutumbera kateni mabili pani kukrinera ngafike nifa nima 5 bachero wali papo nuna wane kutumbera kama misebeza wana vivona kwenye misebeza kumpundansa safari gate.
My main concern is about the drainages. The drainages are very dirty, and you know that's the reservoir for infection. You know the spread of mosquitoes, they happen in there because of the water that we're going to have a lot of diseases that are going to affect the community and the people that are around this station.
One of the residents, Sisi Imasiko, said if not cleaned, drainages will contribute to the outbreak of some diseases.
There are a lot of dirtiness in it. So as we are nearing the rain season like that, it's better the council should take a serious step to clean all where there is dirty, whereby the effect of dirtiness is the sickness. So this is the job of the council. The council should do it at all costs to make sure that all these places, all the drainages are cleaned.
Meanwhile, when contacted for a comment, Mungu Municipal Town Clerk Oliver Muka, who acknowledged the problem, assured resolve the problem.
Yes, our drainages, they are littered. Those people not to do that. But we don't just exercise, we are collecting that garbage. If you recall, we have intensified the cleaning of drainages. The problem is there, but we are not sitting idle. We are doing something. As I'm speaking about, we are about to see whether we can engage our colleagues from ZNS, maybe they can help us with the front end road, so that we bring in our bigger truck to try and dispose garbage. Their first responsibility is to ensure that they do not throw that garbage in the drainages. We have the law that those that cause the pollution must pay for the remedy to that pollution.
For Camnet News, Musia Wakavia reporting in Mungu, Western Province.
You're still watching Camnet Television Main News. We'll take our second and final break. We'll be back with the international news and sports news.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RENGLES, your smart irrigation partner.
In international news tonight, launched on November 25, Chad's referendum campaign is dividing the political class as voters prepare to decide on a new constitution. Chad's 8 million registered voters will be called to place their votes on December 17 after 20 days of campaigning by both sides. Most opposition parties are calling for a boycott of the vote, saying the outcome is a foregone conclusion. Those calling for a no vote are in favor of the country's transition to a federal state, saying that a federation could help the territories develop autonomously. We have a roundup of international news for more.
Residents of flood-ravaged towns in northern Tanzania are counting their cost after torrential downpours at the weekend led to deadly casualties, washed away vehicles and brought down buildings. On Tuesday, authorities in the East African nation revised the death toll from 68 to 65. Some 5,600 people have been displaced by the landslides. These bodies were received and preserved in some of our hospitals in our region, including Simbai, Magugu, and Dalide, Babati Town, and Hanang, also Manyara Regional Hospital, since the tragedy took place a few days ago. Work to clear some of the mud from the landslides in the hillside town of Katesh began Tuesday. President Samia Suluhu Hassan, who cut short her visit to Dubai for the COP28 climate talks, is expected to visit the affected area on Thursday. Some places are still facing floods and covered by mud, so it is very difficult to say if all bodies have been removed. I believe there are more bodies covered by mud and houses. I have lost all the bag of maize I had kept in store. In addition to that loss, I had given my money to the middlemen who helped to buy maize. Up till now, none of them is available on the phone, and I don't know if they are alive or dead. Tanzania and its East African neighbors, Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia, are battling flash floods caused by torrential rains linked to the El Nino weather pattern.
Launched on November 25th, Chad's constitutional referendum campaign is dividing the political class, with those calling for a no vote in favor of transitioning to a federal state. We believe this is the form best suited to Chad, given the vastness of the country and its cultural, social and economic diversity. We believe that this is a form of state that will promote good administration and the economic development of our country. On the yes vote side, there is a call to citizens to turn out en masse to vote for a decentralized unitary state. And since you said yes, vote yes. We'll tell you why. Why not? Let's vote yes for a united Chad. The referendum has been heavily criticized, not only by the opposition but also by NGOs and political scientists. We need to restart the process because it is not in line with the national dialogue, which actually provided for 2 referenda or 2 votes by the electorate. A first vote to decide on the form of the state between the unitary form and the federal form, and a second vote to validate or invalidate the draft constitution that will be submitted on the basis of the form of state chosen. The vote is scheduled for December 19th, when more than 8 million Chadians will be called to the ballot box.
At least 85 people were killed when an army drone strike hit a village in Kaduna, northwestern Nigeria. Military authorities on Monday confirmed the error, and the governor of Kaduna State said it had launched an investigation. The dozens of civilians in Tundubiri village, Kaduna State's Igabi district, had been celebrating a Muslim festival before their joy suddenly turned into sorrow and tragedy.
The Nigerian army was on a routine mission against terrorists, but unfortunately, some members of the Tudunbiri community were affected. Search and rescue efforts are still ongoing, as dozens of injured victims have been evacuated to Barrow Diko Teaching Hospital by the government.
Nigeria's armed forces often rely on airstrikes in their battle against bandit militias in the northwest and northeast of the country, where jihadists have been waging a 14-year conflict. More than 40,000 people have been killed and 2 million displaced since 2009.
In our sports news tonight, the final list of participants is confirmed for next year's Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON in Morocco following a dramatic final round of qualifiers on Tuesday. 9-time champions Nigeria and host Morocco lead an exciting field packed with leading continental heavyweights. Joining them are reigning title holders South Africa, 3-time finalists Ghana, who return after a 6-year absence, North African powers Algeria and Tunisia alongside Mali. DR Congo, whose last participation dates back to 2012, joined the party, while Senegal, giant killer Zambia, Tanzania and Botswana complete the list of confirmed qualifiers at the Morocco 2024 finals. 2-time winners Equatorial Guinea were the major casualties alongside 4-time finalists Cameroon in the qualifying stages concluded on Tuesday. With all 12 berths now sealed, anticipation turns towards the draw at a date and venue to be announced later. To end Camnet television news, the top stories once again. The Socialist Party blames government over deepening PF intra-party wrangles. Police arrest 41 people for various offences at LUSAKA'S INTERCITY bus terminus. Millers say ZNS Meal has created price distortions on the market. In international news, Chad referendum campaign divides political classes. And in sports news, qualifiers for the CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024 done. Our comment verse of the day is coming from the book of Luke 1 verse 68. Praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel, because he has come to his people and redeemed them. My name is Jeffrey Zambo. Thanks for watching Camnet Television News. Good night.